So let's talk about something that feels as American as apple pie, baseball, and, well, arguing with your relatives on Facebook. I'm talking about guns. Now, I know, just saying the word gun in America is like shouting bomb in an airport. Everyone tenses up, sides are chosen. Suddenly your cousin who sells essential oils is a constitutional scholar. The United States has the highest rate of civilian gun ownership in the entire world, and it's not even close. The Small Arms Survey estimates there are about 120.5 guns for every 100 people in America. Let that sink in. That's more guns than people. It's like every man, woman, child, and even some particularly patriotic golden retrievers could have their own firearm, with a few left over to put on the mantelpiece. The next closest country on the list is Yemen, a nation in the midst of a devastating civil war, and they have about 53 guns per 100 people, less than half of the American rate. We have more guns than Italy, Spain, France, Germany, the UK, and Canada combined. It creates an environment where the presence of firearms is a constant. Think about it. If you have a country with 330 million people and nearly 400 million guns, the chances of any given conflict, whether it's a domestic dispute, a road rage incident, or a mental health crisis involving a firearm, are just mathematically higher. It's not a judgment, it's just the reality of the numbers. The stage is set with an arsenal that no other civilian population on Earth possesses, so you have a country saturated with guns. What happens next? Well, you get another grim statistic where America is, once again, number one in the worst possible way. The United States has more mass shootings than any other developed country. Again, it's not even a competition, it's a blowout. Researchers have tried to define mass shooting in different ways. Some say 3 or more victims, some say 4 or more, but no matter which definition you use, the U.S. leads the pack. Mass shootings scar America. While background checks exist, major loopholes allow guns to be sold without them, no questions asked. While mass shootings capture the headlines, they are, in fact, only a small fraction of the overall gun violence in America. Gun violence disproportionately devastates certain communities, particularly urban areas and communities of color. The reality is, if you are a young black man in America, your risk of being a victim of gun homicide is exponentially higher than for a white person. This isn't an accident, it's the result of a complex mix of systemic issues. Decades of racial segregation, economic inequality, underfunded schools, and a lack of job opportunities. Furthermore, we can't ignore the crisis of suicide, which accounts for the majority of gun deaths in America, around 60% in any given year. For many gun owners, the right to bear arms isn't just a law, it's a core part of their identity. This viewpoint is amplified by powerful and well-funded gun rights organizations, most notably the National Rifle Association. They spend millions on campaign contributions and advertising. This has created a political reality where many lawmakers are more afraid of a primary challenge from their right than they are of disagreeing with the 90% of the public who want universal background checks. On the other side, you have gun control advocates, often spurred into action by personal tragedy, who are equally passionate. This creates a culture war where there is very little middle ground, freedom versus safety, individualism versus community, and in this deeply entrenched conflict, compromise has become a dirty word, and meaningful progress remains agonizingly out of reach. So that's where we are. A nation with more guns than people, more mass shootings than any other developed country, and a political system that seems paralyzed despite a surprising amount of public consensus. It's a lot to take in, and it's really easy to feel hopeless. But understanding the problem is always the first step. But these are not insurmountable forces of nature. They are the results of human choices, and human choices can be changed. The conversation doesn't have to be this toxic. This is a conversation that affects everyone, no matter where you live or what you believe. And it's a conversation we need to have, not with shouting and insults, but with facts, empathy, and a genuine desire to find a way forward. That keeps our communities safe while respecting our rights. What do you think? After hearing all this, has your perspective changed at all? What part of this story do you think is most important for people to understand? I genuinely want to know. Please, share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. Let's try to have the kind of conversation that our leaders seem incapable of having. If you found this video informative and want to see more deep dives into complex issues, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, and for being willing to engage with a difficult but vital topic. Stay safe and take care of each other.